Hey, good Monday to you wherever you are. I'm Lavender Essence, also Stephanie Mocha or Steph, and this is Real Talk 757. Today we have an amazing guest with us, and I'm going to give him the opportunity to introduce himself. Go ahead.
How y'all doing? My name is Dr. Copeland. I am from Lynchburg, Virginia. I'm here at the 757 area code on Real Talk, and I appreciate you inviting me in.
Yes, thank you for being here, and welcome to the 757. So, what brings you to the 757?
I've been here for a while. I got a couple of family from here. Back with it mentioned me now. But I used to come in and lecture and stuff as well.
Wow.
At the House of Consciousness.
Yes.
Yeah. Then of course when Conscious Planet came along, did some stuff there as well.
Right.
So I just came down and do some lecturing. At the time I had a couple of books out.
Oh.
Yeah. So I just came down to spread the word, so to speak, in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are some things that you're spreading the word about in your lectures?
At first, I've been an activist for a couple of decades, so doing different community work. So I was doing I had a program called Hip Hop Not Gangsta. So I'm what's called a b-boy master.
Oh, what? Oh my goodness! Whoa! So okay, tell us a little bit more about Hip Hop Not Gangsta.
It was a program I came up with because in my area, they was labeling the kids. Well, in the area, really, I come to find out. But when our children get a certain age, they say about 10, 11, about 10, 11-year-old, when they start going into middle school or something, a lot of times that's when they really start targeting our children and by the way they walk, by the talk, their attitudes and stuff like that. And so a lot of that, what they was doing is really hip hop culture, you know what I'm saying? They talking about the way they may have their head turned and different things like that means they may be in a gang.
Mm-hmm.
So they was running up on children, in my community at least, running up on them and just pretty much making them say that they're gang members. It was crazy. And I literally got some live video footage from back then of the police doing that to children and why they kind of record them and stuff. Because what happens is when they put our children under what's called the gang law, then they become like what's called domestic terrorists.
Right.
Which means that, like I teach the children that if I'm just a regular citizen, that they say if I steal a piece of candy or something, I might get a couple of months. To where if I'm a gang member, I might get a couple of years for the same piece of candy.
So that's like crack and cocaine.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I mean, but it's the same variants. Well, not exactly the same,
Right.
but the example that you gave was a good reference of what you're speaking of. So how long did your programs last?
I did it for when I first came out of the book. Like 10 more years. I had a TV show too.
Okay.
So I had a TV show called Street Hype. So I did that. So yeah, it probably maybe like 10 years or more.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I see that you're very productive in a lot of areas. I mean, you're hands-on and the youth. The age, the preteen years up into teen years, those are very pivotal years because, after the early stages from, toddler up until elementary school, and then we make that transition to middle school to preteen years, those are the opportunities and times to impart. Those are the opportunities and times when the mind is being molded and shaped. And for the attack to be, placed upon our children, placed upon our youth, and through hip hop culture, the way that we speak, verbally and non-verbally, those things are definitely relevant as opposed to the way that things are happening today. Because history has a way of repeating itself and transforming into different forms and ways. And so the programs that you've had and the production that you're about to speak on with your TV show, those things tie together. So how was your TV show impactful in what you did with youth or, the guests that you had on?
I went around to, because I was the first one in my particular region, it was the Blue Ridge region to even have, but I actually put people out on mixtapes. I'm considered a pioneer, so to speak. So
yes, love it.
Yeah, putting people out on music. So I did that since that was in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that for about 10 or more years, 15 years. But the TV show mainly dealt with the community because people say X, Y, and Z going on in our community. So I go out in nighttime, you know what I'm saying, and hit the block or whatever and show a lot of it is hype. You might have a couple of areas here and there. So you got to understand, they say, even this city here, we're in Chesapeake. Okay, I don't know. I just want to give a number. I don't know. They say it's 10,000 people in Chesapeake. I know it's more. Okay, so out of that 10,000, you might have literally, we say 100, 300 actual criminals. You see what I'm saying? To where they call gangsters and all this other stuff. I mean, most of them, you go to the average club, you might see how many we actually have in the city, plus a few extra,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You understand what I'm saying? And so the way they label our communities, it makes it look like our whole community is just terrible and it's a waste. I mean, when I was part of the community council too for some years.
Okay.
I was a community events organizer, and what I used to do is, like, when the police come and all that, I said, look, we want to report of everything that happened in that month.
Okay.
And we want y'all to bring that to our community, and we want to look it over for ourselves.
Right.
And what I come to find out was that what made our particular, because where I live at is considered one of the highest crime rate areas, right? And so when I looked at the statistics and what made us the highest crime rate area, it went by how many calls we get.
Okay.
So if somebody, domestic dispute, somebody's cat in the tree or something, can't get it down, and you call them. So it goes by how many calls we do.
So they kind of sort of build statistics off of the different types of calls to see what type of crimes are happening in this area around about what time of day, what time of year, so on and so forth.
So forth. And so, yeah, right. Once you kind of really look over that, you can do that. Well, we formed a community council. You know what I'm saying? And if you're in a community anywhere, I say form your community council. That's very important. You know what I'm saying? They had the community watch, watching your neighbors. But we like, why you gotta watch it? Let's help our neighbors, And because you, as a community council, you have certain powers to go down to your city council.
So you can advocate on behalf of the people in your community by being part of this, community council?
Your community council, right? And then you can take them ideas, them problems, them what concerns, whatever, to Zoom. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, that's the only thing about going live sometimes. You got to have your backup recording just in case something go down.
Yeah.
Everything live, everything good. Okay.
We're back on right now.
Okay.
But
well,
yes, we're talking about the community council.
Oh yeah, I was saying that. Then each city, each ward and stuff should have a representative on that council. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to do X, Y, and Z for that community. However, it's not a whole lot of us going to that person who's over that ward, and so let's say it's 8 people on the city council, and you got our one person. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be, but you don't have no extra ideas really coming in, so to speak. Maybe 1 or 2 people coming in his ear, but we got the other 7 people that's in his ear more about what they want for our community.
Right, and I like how you dialed into breaking that down, because with these, with the wards and things of that nature in the city, yes, there is a person designated, and it goes beyond the vote. Once we get the candidate in that we want to have the seat to represent us, whether it's for the city or if the city is broken down into wards, we have to continue to be adamant about the things that we wanted, the things that they said that they were going to do, and we can't just get comfortable. We have to continue to move and apply pressure so that these things will get done. And if they don't get done, then don't they have somebody else over them that the citizens can talk to?
Well, like I said, you really a council, so it goes, community, then it goes city, then you go state, then you go federal. It's always stuff,
Yeah,
depends on what's going on and what you need done,
Right.
But yeah, but the objective, I guess you would go to maybe your mayor or whatever. Some cities don't. It's not ran by a mayor. It's ran by a city manager.
Right, and
a lot of people don't understand that.
When you say that you're from Blue Ridge, for some reason I just think country. But you're giving us insight because there's a lot of counties and things of that nature throughout the state of Virginia and cities.
Right.
So if it's a county, they don't have a mayor.
I don't want to answer that because I don't really know.
Yeah.
I just know that I live in the cities of
Right.
over 200,000 people. Actually, I live in a city that we got the largest Christian college in the world.
Oh.
So we teach all the a lot of these Baptists out here, Baptist college, and where the state and the church came together. We want to pass that particular law into Congress.
Wow, separation of church and state.
We're supposed to be the separation, but now it's not.
Right.
Yeah, that's because of where I'm at.
Okay.
Liberty, whatever they did, and, we don't have some powerful people. Every president of them pretty much came through my city.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a small city, but yeah.
A lot of powerful things happen in Blue Ridge.
Well, Lynchburg, definitely.
Lynchburg.
Right, because we consider the hub
Okay.
of connection going down to North Carolina and coming back up north,
Okay.
Richmond area.
Cool. That's what's up. Wow. Okay. Tell us a little bit more about where you're from.
Where I'm from is this city. I'm where what's called the Bible Belt.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just said, we had the largest Christian college in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of we are more under the spell. No disrespect for anybody that's Christian and stuff, but I got to tell it like it is, right? So we doing real talk. So we're zombies almost when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
And we have these beliefs that's really destroying us as a people. A lot of that, but overall, it's pretty cool. I mean, as far as what I do, that's why I kind of personally have to, start things in a sense. A fire starter, so to speak.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to coaching. So I want the first one to kind of break that down.
So let me tell you, your passion, you're a fire starter, you get things done, you're a pioneer, you're a trendsetter. What inspired you to be an advocate for your people? What inspired you to create the programs that you've done with hip hop? What inspired you to record?
It's just visionary. I mean, but one of the main things is my son at the time. You know what I'm saying? He was in school, and I noticed what was going on with the youth, through him at that time, and so that definitely started. But I always, I had already had visions what I wanted to do, certain things. I might not have done it at that point when I said it. It might took 5-10 years before the plan actually, came to blossom. But whatever, like even down to me saying I'm gonna be a doctor, I've been said that, as far as naturopathic, not a medical doctor. I gotta make that clear. But
On the realm of
holistic doctor.
We gotta get more into that.
Yeah,
And we will. Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into that. But yes, you can go ahead on and finish. It's getting real on Real Talk 757 all day. Yes.
Indeed. But that's what it's about for me. I mean, it is everything is from the divine for me. I just walk in the light. And so I just do it that way. And when I get it, I don't sit on it. I try to, move on it, whatever it is. I don't had when I was in Texas when I first got enlightened about Pan-Africanism and stuff like that, and that kind of broke me into that. It's being around the new Black Panthers and stuff like that with Khalid Muhammad and all them brothers down that way. And so when I came back to the East Coast, it was literally every day they used to mess with me. You know what I'm saying? Drive behind me. They did different things to try to intimidate me and all that craziness. But I was on a mission, so I ain't letting none of that. You protected if you stay guided.
That's deep right there. You're protected if you stay guided. And whichever practice that you choose to delve in spiritually, that's what you surround yourself with. Divine order, divine creation, divine light. I remember when I met you back on that Turner Land in October, I noticed that you had a lot of products out, and I said you look like you use the products that you're marketing, the products that you have out here on this table. And you mentioned holistic health because that's the way that we used to practice self-care before we got into, in some cases, being dependent on a lot of these pharmaceutical drugs and things of that nature. Um, Tell us, just give us some insight about what it is that you do, how you dabble and got invested into holistic care and got into doing what you do with your products.
I'm literally, in a sense, about the third generation of what I do. My great grandfather, when I didn't find out until I finished one of my certifications back in 2015. My grandfather told me that my great grandfather was considered the root man, which would be considered the herbalist of the day, right?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And
Yeah.
then of course I grew up around my father, who was already he was what's called a blood microscopist, meaning he look at your blood live versus when you get blood drawn at the doctor's office. By the time they test it, it's pretty much add-on hit it and some more stuff. But when we do it live, we can see everything in there moving around, and you can see the bugs in it and everything else that may be going on in your body when we do it live.
Let me ask this: how do you do it live? Because my way is, having the blood drawn and then they put it in the tube, and I can see it moving and everything, but they take it off to the lab to get it tested. So what is live viewing the blood?
Yeah, it's called live microscopists. Yeah, they like I say, you just pluck your plane in and we look at it right then and there under the microscope.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And see for certain things within it. I'm not doing that right yet. I gotta get certified. That was one of the things my dad did, and he always been into water. I mean, since I was a baby. So I never been to a doctor. And he, when I was going to school, back in the day, you could bring your medicines for your kid. I don't know if they can do that now. And the teacher give it to you or something like that in class or whatever. So I always come to school with like a little yogurt cup of lemon juice and cayenne pepper for my cold and stuff.
Right. Well, now it's got to be checked in through the nurse, and the student is taken out at a certain time of day where they can actually leave the classroom and go to the nurse's office to get their medicine, and then they go back to class. So it's a little different, but back to.
So pretty much I grew up around it all my life, and so when my son was born once again, that's when I really started looking, because I didn't want him to go to the doctors. I didn't get him them shots. They'll threaten you, talking about, if you don't get your shots, you can't go to school and all that crazy. But Curtis Costs, Vaccines Are Dangerous is a good book. If you haven't got it.
What's the name of it again?
Vaccines Are Dangerous by Curtis Costs. He's an elder. I guess he's still alive. I'm not sure, but I got it back in the 90s when I got that particular book.
Okay.
And I got actual governmental documents from that state. I was in Texas at the time, so got governmental documents from the state to where you don't have to get. And what happens then when you get that for your child, then if something do happen, like some type of plague or something happens, your child be some of the first people that pull out the class or out the school.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So that's how that worked. But that got me pretty much going with my child born, because I didn't want to, like I said, see him go to the doctors and stuff like that. So he never been to a doctor I know of,
Yeah. It's interesting how we learn so much through our children, and how our children are teachers to us as well.
Right.
Because a lot of times people are like, I don't know how they could think this when we were all children before, but they think that children are not, knowledgeable about certain things. Well, they're sponges, and they retain what it is that you teach. And so, yes, I always look at my children as teachers, because I learn from them all the time. And, we are given children for a purpose. And when you speak of your holistic journey and your son not wanting him to go through the process of being of getting immunizations and stuff like that, and the way that he's treated naturally with herbal elements and things of that nature, and other things that you do, that's a testament of its own, and that's something that you can vouch for.
All right. Yeah. It's pretty much, as the old saying used to go, from the womb to the tomb.
Ooh.
You see, we learn in the womb.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Hopefully, I used to, like talk to the womb, when he was in the stomach. And the mother can do that too. Read, depends on what you're reading, what you consuming in your brain is going into that child.
Yeah.
That's why, especially nowadays, because the children is at a different frequency right now.
Yeah.
And so if we do this now, they really like real advanced right now. And this have a lot to, not with the computers, don't have nothing to do with these computer math. It got something to do with the galactic fields of what's going on in the universe right now. For everybody. And so one of the things I do is I'm a naturopathic consultant, so I try to consult people in alternative ways to their health. I'm also what's called an energy medicine practitioner. That's dealing with EMF frequencies, all these lights, different things around us. So I deal with that as well. And what's called EAV technician. That's pretty much dealing with our Moranian system. Everything's connected. When we go to the doctor, I call it the Frankenstein technique. Because they got a doctor for your eye, they got a doctor for your nose, they got a doctor for your lip, your teeth, your throat, your elbow, whatever. You got a doctor for every little thing. A specialist, they call it nowadays. You're a specialist in this particular area, but the body is a whole thing. That's why it's called holistic. It's a holy thing. And so, it's part of the spirit. Everything is something out of whack. A lot of times people don't understand a lot of things is just their emotions and the way they think it. And it could cause certain pains, could cause cancer, all these things. And if they could just get their mind right, thinking right, or their environment right. So that's part of what I do as far as energy medicine practitioner. I try to teach that also, your colors you put on, the people you're around, of course the food we eat, that's on the list too, but these things are some of the first things, because even if I give you all these, people don't understand. I go to the herbalist and all these other things, and people don't understand. If I got certain emotional situations going on with me, or if I'm in an environment or a household or whatever that's not quote unquote healthy, I don't care how many herbs and whatever I give you, still gonna have some issues going on, or you make it worse.
Yeah, it's interesting that you tie emotions to different pains, because when we feel a certain way emotionally, it causes a different reaction throughout the body, and sometimes it is pain, and it does have a different frequency. It causes you to move and react differently. And so even though we have some things that we deal with that we can't see, it's interesting because when we suppress things, we push them down so deep, bury them down so deep that we won't remember. But once it starts to rise to the surface, we start to feel all other types of emotions, all types of feelings, all types of symptoms. So it's got to come out some type of way. And it's not just to treat it with some type of herbal remedy or another holistic, another way holistically. We have to be able to verbalize it out as well. And that's the piece that we don't talk about a lot as it pertains to healing, because it's more than what we put in. We have to release as well. Wow.
I tell people we have 4 bodies. We have a mental body, we got an emotional body, you got your spiritual body. So we got what we thinking, emotional body, how we respond to what we thinking, and then you got your spiritual body, what you believing in. All that can affect now your physical body.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Ooh.
So you see, our body, even though you, like you say, you bury it down, you might not have it on your conscious mind, but it's still in your subconscious mind.
Yes.
In your subconscious body, your cells have memory. Like if you hurt yourself, let's say when you was a kid, okay, when you get older, that same area all of a sudden starts to bother you, X, Y, and Z. You go to the doctor, of course, before long, they got a knife on you, cutting that area, putting some plastic or some artificial parts there. But what happens is that area has memory in it, and it's never been released.
Ooh, that's why when somebody unfortunately deals with the amputation, they still be like, I feel that part of my body and it's gone.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because really, especially you got like they be replacing people's knees and carrying on. A lot of that is dealing with that's part of the brain. So a lot of stuff in your knees that hurting and stuff like that. That's coming from you got your stomach area down, and then you got your bladder area down, and these particularly in your intestine area. And trust me, a lot of people are constipated. You say 90%. And over 70 to 80%, well, I say about 70, this is statistically 70 to 80% of hospital visits are unnecessary.
Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely.
You know, we sneeze nowadays. Take them to the doctor. You know, back in the day we didn't do that.
Nah.
Grandma, whoever give you some type of nasty remedy, they're gonna make you spit and frown and cry. I don't want to take it, but
it kept you out the hospital.
Yeah, you know.
And the next day you was running around.
You running around. I mean, think about how many times did we really go to the doctor or hospital when we was younger? If you're from that era, we say. When you talking about once they hit the 90s and the 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, some of that though, I mean, is passed down. You hear people talking about it, and then depending on how country where you at is,
right.
It lasted for longer. It lasted for longer periods of time.
Sure.
And I can't say it's still happening now in some areas, but it may be.
Yeah, you see how far a few areas just like that. You know, like you said, where I'm at is more counties and stuff like that outside of the city hub,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, food. I'm trying to think of a question as it pertains to food and health, because there are a lot of different variants. I know that, being vegan is trending now, but I know that there were vegans way before, it became a popular thing to be.
Right.
And so the food that we put into our body is like the fuel that we need to keep our engine running. And foods that we eat, celebratory, a lot of us, some of us have, eating habits that we still, have from the way that we grew up. And then some of us changed our eating habits based on the life that we want to live and so on and so forth.
Right.
So foods play a big part in health because, as you mentioned, a lot of people are constipated, and that's because of the foods that they're eating. And to be honest, we need to be releasing ourselves as often as we eat. So if we are eating 3 times a day, we need to be doing it number 2, 3 times a day.
Right.
So what types of foods are, I guess, best recommended to keep the blood circulating and to keep our bodies, oxygen. What is it? I'm trying to say oxygen. To keep oxygen in our bodies.
Where the highest estrogens or energy in food would be berries. Then you got melons, and then comes fruits.
Mm-hmm.
Then comes vegetables, and the lowest frequencies, of course, is meats.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the steps. Us as melanated people, see, we gotta also understand too, because when I went to get my certifications, I'm mainly studying what they call traditional Chinese medicine, or we dealing with the Asian body.
Okay.
We're not truly dealing with the melanated science or the melanated body. And luckily, I studied a lot on the Lily of Africa on that.
Okay.
Because he deals with the African holistics. And so the thing we got to understand, certain foods and stuff that they eat or that's promoted, that's not for our particular body. There's another there's a book called Food and Civilization.
Okay.
Okay. And that particular book, I read it back last year, so it's very interesting of how we started eating certain things because they was eating them things. It's not from our region, not from our, right now we're in an indigenous land, that they came into and bought a lot of this, like pigs. That's not from here. I think cows not from here. It's quite a few animals that's not from this soil. Okay. That we are eating. It's quite a few fruits and vegetables that we're eating that's not from the soil. You see what I'm saying? That was when you're supposed to eat what's originally from that particular land. If you're from that particular land, we're supposed to also eat what's in season. I'll give you a good example because everybody doing this, eating that watermelon. No, you hear people talking about, I eat me watermelon. There's a lot of people eating watermelon. Watermelon don't come out until about July. June, really about July.
Hold on a second. It don't come out until about July. So it's available in the spring. Well, it's available.
It's available all year round right
but
now.
mainly when you go into the grocery store in the spring, you see a big cardboard box or whatever type of crate they got them in. April, May, right before Memorial Day. But you say they don't come in until about July.
Yeah, my grandmother, we used to plant gardens. We had acres of stuff. They used to be farmers before they changed up a lot of stuff in the Farmers Bureau. Grandmother told me always plant your like watermelons every Saturday in May.
Saturday.
Yeah, any weekend in May. Okay, and that's we gonna get some of your best. So by the time they bloom, like I said, July, August, harvest season for them, maybe into September. We can go into September with that.
This is what happens when you go live. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you gotta just put it on sound. It's all good.
Hey, let me call you back. Okay, I'm calling you back in a few. All right,
Yeah. Yeah, you might want to put it on sound.
I thought I did. And this is Real Talk 757 all day. This is real.
That's it.
Okay, hold on. Okay, it's on silent now. I gotta remember to put it back. We'll take it off of silent when I'm done recording, but yes.
Okay. Where was we at? What was talking about?
We're talking about in season watermelon.
Oh yeah. We're supposed to eat foods that's in season right now.
Yeah.
But I was saying that watermelon is a food, like I said, it's one of the many that's all year round. And we don't supposed to eat it all. See, the body knows certain things because we're earth. You see what I'm saying? So we're all the elements of the earth, and so that's why we posted. I mean, I remember you really don't get a watermelon until about July in hot summertime.
Wow.
If anybody from the we'll say 90s or really 90s back.
Okay.
You'll notice because they really started doing them GMO foods around the 90s or so, late 80s. Okay. Is when they started doing the GMO foods or start what they call suicide seeds. Y'all can look that up. It's called suicide seeds.
Okay.
And that's when we got the pack.
It's interesting that you say that because a lot of things that we eat now are seedless. I'd be in a grocery store trying to find some grapes with some seeds, and all of the bags say seedless. I'm like, whoa. So what are these seeds that you're speaking of? They sound like one thing, but what are they?
Which means the
suicide.
Well, that's dealing with seedless foods.
Okay.
That's what it originally was called. That's what the song. I just did a lecture on that. Actually, here at the House of Conscious, me and Dr. Sister Bell, shout out to her.
Yeah.
We did a lecture together at the House of Conscious, and I talked about that. Wow. So yeah, it was around the late 80s, early 90s that they came out with them type of seeds, foods and stuff like that. Because and a lot of it was to try to make sure we can grow our own food now.
I mean, it's real convenient because some foods like watermelon. I'm not trying to be picking and doing all of that. When I'm ready to eat, I'm ready to eat. But it's not healthy because it's not real.
Well, I mean, the objective of watermelon that I remember is you want them seeds to spit them.
Yeah. You definitely,
And you can actually eat them, though. Did you notice they even got it for candy now?
Okay, no.
Not candy, but yeah, like little snacks. They got barbecue flavor and all these different flavors now of the seeds.
Okay, yeah, they do, like sunflower seeds and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they got watermelon seeds.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know because I didn't even know you could eat watermelon seeds. It's a seed. I mean, I know you can plant it. I didn't think you eat it. Okay, so I just learned something new today.
Yeah, they got watermelon seed snacks.
Okay.
But yet they take the seeds out of our watermelon now, right?
Oh my God. I mean, just about everything is reversed. You gotta flip it and reverse it. For it to make sense sometimes.
Yeah. It's all the money game right now more than anything.
It is.
So it's not really about our health. I mean, that's the way I look at it personally. But yeah, a lot of the foods, when we're looking at the foods, when it comes to meats, that's the worst right now. One, because of the environment that I meet, unless you farm growing it yourself, or you can find farmers who selling meat, eggs, or if you're eating eggs, or people don't understand. I used to go pick eggs in the morning, right? Because every summer I used to go there to the country with my grandfather, age 4 until I was like 12, and We had to get up the crack of dawn when that rooster go crack.
That was the alarm, right?
That was the alarm back in the day. You know what it was? You know, like, oh man, so you gotta get that. And we used to work fields. I mean rows, and I mean it was acres upon acres of rows of fields, and everybody had their own row, and you know, working the land. Cause I mean, even if those who read the Bible, they say we're not supposed to put our hands to the plow.
Yeah.
You know, we don't do no work. We just sitting back now. We want the convenience. See, that's what happened. They came up with what's called the convenience stores or convenient ways. And that happened during the industrial age. Okay? And during the industrial age, because we got to understand the oldest way of living is called the agriculture age. You see what I'm saying? And so we did that for thousands upon, you know, millenniums, right? And so now we went into industrial age. That's dealing with machines and, you know, doing our work. So when you had the industrial age, that's when they was pulling more of the women out of the home, and they don't have time to let their food marinate or get up at, you know, crack of dawn and put them beans on, and about time 3, 4 o'clock in the evening come, because you're supposed to literally cook your beans that long. At least 8 or more hours. People don't understand it. You get it in the can now, it's convenient, you know.
Very convenient.
Quote unquote. Supposed to be already kind of cooked. You just warm it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But that stuff is horrible for anything we actually cook is actually bad for. But that's another story.
Yeah, and also speaking of convenience, the industrial age has gotten rid of the convenience of having people. You know, I was out at a fast food joint recently, and I'm standing at the counter. I see these little things for self-serve, but I'm thinking that's optional. So I'm at the counter, and all I see is people fixing food. I'm like, hold on. I wasn't paying attention to see if there was a register or not. And I was like, hold on, I want to place an order. It's like, oh, you got to place it on that machine over there. I'm like, oh, really? And then you walk in food lines now and see that food lines got the self-checkout. And that's kind of ironic because we call it food line, but we're really saying food line. Food line, because them lines be long. And, you know, even with the self-checkout line, sometimes it's like, whoa, you know, the convenience of that. I could be in and out, but I got to come in here and shop, and I got to bag my own groceries. I'm not getting paid for that. So it's taking jobs away from people.
Well, that now we went from an industrial age, we're in what's called the computer age. Now the computer age is what's taking the job from people, that automated stuff. Like when they did the pandemic back in 2000, you know, that was
planning for 2020.
The pandemic. That's what I call it, right? And so when they had the pandemic and everybody running around with them toxic masks on, people don't understand how toxic they are. They're made from polymer. Polymer is actually a gas. Okay, petroleum gas, and the dyes, the different color ones they had on, they got certain dyes in it. People don't understand the breathing and stuff in. Then now on top of that, we got the microfibers in that, and all that stuff getting in our lungs, and we have more people with lung problems, heart attacks all of a sudden, you know, because you ain't getting enough oxygen to your body, into your lungs. Oxygen is highly important. But going back to the pandemic was the set off to where we sitting at home now. And we more using the computer. And so we had people who maybe quit the job, that's cool. Because now a lot of them jobs got robots handling it. They even got, I think California just opened up the first last week, robotic restaurant.
I saw something about that.
Yes.
And you know, it's interesting because when we look at movies, the Jetsons is a prime example. But when we look at that, you know, I remember being a child watching it and like, okay, in 2000, that's going to be where we at. And, you know, when we see these robotic self-serve restaurants, I even saw one on Denny's one time. There was, I can't remember what it was that I was watching, but the robot came out, had the food on the tray and just rolled out and brought it to the people. I'm like, dang, that's what we had. That's what it is.
I guess the only good thing about that, you don't have to give it a tip.
Sometimes that tip is already included in the meal, though.
Facts.
But
that facts. That
yeah.
Part. Yeah, and see, we got robot, and you don't even know how they cooking, what's going on with that. You see, and so it's really gonna boil down to you gonna understand we got two different worlds that we're gonna have to decide we're gonna live in. Either you want the convenient world, or you want to go back to the actual world that we came from, which is the agriculture age. I mean, that's the oldest way of living that we know.
And see, right, when we think of that, convenience is programmed in that, because in that convenience, we got all of these computers that are actually serving in rows of people. And then, at some point in time, the computer is going to malfunction. So it's going to have to rely on a human to go back and reprogram it. But, if we're living in a time and age where computers are given the dominion to be in place of humans, at one point in time, or at what place will the human mind be able to sustain what's being imparted into that computer? Because a human life at some point in time will get worn out. The computer or the robot can sustain for as long as it's programmed to.
Right.
So yeah, when we take a look back at these movies, it's like they're telling us something. This is not just entertainment. This is
it's called science fiction.
Yeah.
Fixing us, getting us ready for something. A lot of it is telling you things before it actually happened. Mm-hmm. And it's a way to make us, it's a word for it, but pretty much you kind of used to it. To where you see it, sometimes you don't even believe that it's actually happening. Mm-hmm. Or you're like, hey, I remember that from the movie. Mm-hmm. And so you live in, you enjoying this particular thing that you've seen or whatever, and thinking that that's the way to be. But we don't understand, like you're saying, these things are taking over us, period. They're living, and you got to understand they want to also reduce the population. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a lot of that is going on too, and that's going through our food, definitely. Like when we get back to the food thing, like our meats, people don't understand, like a lot of meats got pesticides. This is the living condition. They got cows and stuff. Their feed, the cow feed or whatever, it's actually other cows or meat. They literally turn our animals into cannibals. No cows and chickens and stuff supposed to eat another,
cow chicken.
Right.
Right.
Grind it up into a powder form. Yeah, and so they got a lot of that going on as well. People don't understand, and so that's causing disease and stuff like that. And then they injecting them. They got injecting with all these hormones and antibiotics and stuff like that. And so all this stuff is getting in our system.
I asked this years ago because, you got different types of meats, especially chicken. Chicken, you can get buffalo wings at your favorite restaurant. You got chicken in the store. Everybody got chicken in their house. It's like, how many chickens are there for people to consume like that?
Exactly.
And then it's like, I seen the chicken being plumped up after it was injected with the hormone. And so it's like, when I see big chicken, I'm like, what's wrong with it? Mm-hmm. I actually saw something some time ago, and it was a comparison of chicken from back in the day to chicken now. And the chicken that we eat, I'm used to eating, I guess medium-sized chicken meat or medium-sized chicken leg. But the actual size of the chicken leg from a chicken that was grown from back in the day without being injected, it was actually smaller. And, we did eat smaller meal sizes. We were more active back in the day. I remember when I was a child coming up, we were outside in the morning after Saturday morning cartoons. And then, the Atari came out, the Nintendo, the Sega, and all of that. And then, it became a whole generation of children being used to being in the house. And as we notice, a lot of children have diabetes and a host of other illnesses.
Mental illnesses, neither. Don't forget that.
That's definitely something that we're dealing with and something that we're addressing. It's something that we're talking about more now in the society than we did before.
Right.
Because that's one of those things that you can't see. And because it can't be seen, it's like, how do we identify it? How can we say that this action is related to this mental health diagnosis?
Well, that's where, a lot of it, my opinion is coming from the computer. Because now we're dealing with EMF frequencies. EMF frequencies, cause what we call electrical smog in our cells in our body. And things like the cell phones, all that, that's burning, that could burn things and set things in our brain as well, cause cancer, different things. So you got a child that's constantly on computerized stuff, then look for them to have some type of issue. Okay, I'm giving definitely mental type of issues, what they call anxiety, all types of stuff. Because you constantly putting this stuff in your body, you programming you. You know what I'm saying? In your mind. And so, like we saying earlier, we burn stuff. We don't notice that it's really there. But it's there. Our body have memory. So it's going to bring it out. It'll come out every now and then. I know for me, I can, you know, I know I can really like watch a movie or something. Because it's like, because I don't even have a TV, but when I have, you know, watched a movie, it's like that movie stay in my head for like 2 or 3 days. Like certain scenes will pop up in my head. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, we have to be careful of the way that we allow our bodies to be imparted into on all realms.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some things we can't take, whether it's a movie or whether it's, you know, somebody with an injury. You know, if you watch, what is that type of boxing? I can't think of it right now, but full body boxing, it won't come to mind.
Oh, I know you're talking about the MMA or something like that, when they're in the cage and stuff, yeah.
And anything can happen at any time. Somebody can get punched or somebody can get kicked and their leg can just end up in a whole another direction. And that can be a lot to take sometimes. So not just the food that we eat, but the energy that we consume in all areas, all aspects. We have to be careful of that.
Exactly. I mean, because what it does is inflame our body and inflames our cells. And when things inflame us, then nothing is being fully digested. And a lot of us got a lot of, you know, bad digestive systems. When people come to me, the first thing is three things. Well, one of the first things hard for me to get them to do is drink water. You'd be surprised how many people do not drink water. Or I don't like the taste of water. I'm like, what? If you don't like it, if it got taste anyway, don't drink it.
Water may be an acquired taste thing for some people because, when you used to drinking sweet stuff, you used to drinking soda, you used to drinking Kool-Aid, you used to drinking coffee or whatever it is, you know, water is not saturated and we see it's clear. And, you know, until you get used to it, it is something that...
It don't have no taste. It shouldn't have no taste. It shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they're, like you say, used to the colors, and most importantly, they used to the sugar, because what they did, they found out it's called the Blitz point. And that was in the actually before the 80s. But by the 80s, these scientists and stuff found out that, especially in the African American community, that we are more, we like more salty and sugary foods. And so that's why when you go into a convenience store, or especially in your community, some of the first things you're gonna see is chips, some pies, them little pie cakes and candy, right? See, that's all part of the psychological. And then you got the sodas. You know what I'm saying? So all that is psychological to make us, when we even come into the store, to grab it. And so these are scientific things that don't done on us, okay, for years. And different studies, and so that's how they're able to target us now. Like we're saying, even through food, you can go to one side of town and get a certain quality of food versus the other side of town. Just to give you an example, like certain vegetables or something. You go one side of town, it's all dried up, you know, yellow and brown. Like, you know, it ain't fresh.
How long this been out here? Okay, this just came. Where it come from? How what? It's just sitting there. Okay, and then the other side be like
fresh and crispy, like just picked it and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So but a lot of us, like we were saying a minute, we don't notice that we're not conscious of these things. So that's where I hopefully come into play. You know what I'm saying? And come into the community and give this type of awareness to people. You know, that part of my ministries, I used to have it too. Well, I still have it. It's called Cultural Awareness Ministries. You know, giving this awareness of, you know, but now I'm going to call it Cultural Awareness Health Ministry. So that's coming out.
Health as well.
Health is well. That's it.
Wow. I'm just wild right now because I just retain so much good information, and sometimes when I don't have anything to say, I just say wow, and sometimes I'm just, but yeah. In what ways can the listening audience get in touch with you?
Okay, it's a couple of different ways. I'm on IG under Dr. DOCTAHCOPELAND. And I spell and then on YouTube, same thing, Dr. DOCTAHCOPELAND, the health consultant. So the biggest way, and then got my website, that's at THEHEHC.Weebly, WEEBLY.com. It's best to just Google me. That's why I spelled it doctor. Yeah, Google me, baby.
Yes.
You know, and that's why I spelled it Doctor, because if I spelled it Dr, then you pop up, you're gonna see a whole lot of other faces, right?
Yeah.
But you put the Doctor, you're going to see, you know, my stuff. You see what I'm saying? So you know, it's one of the reasons I spelled it that. A lot of people don't understand. They're like, you ain't no doctor, you know, or something like that. Doctor only means really teaching. You know, if your doctor ain't teaching you something, you got to question them. Okay. And it also means someone who studied in a particular field for X amount of years, okay? And I feel that, you know, I've been in my particular field for over, you know, a few decades, so.
And you look like what you do, so that's doctorial. Yes, yes.
You know, when I was telling you about the hip hop thing earlier, I meant to bring out that I'm at the Hip Hop Museum of Virginia in Williamsburg, actually here in Williamsburg, Virginia. So I want to put that out there too. I was thinking.
Oh, you can't just roll out. You can't just slide through with something like that. You got to say it one more time. What?
Yeah. I'm in the Hip Hop Museum of Virginia in Williamsburg, Virginia. So yeah.
Wow.
They have a hip hop museum here in Virginia.
So are you there? Are you or your exhibit or anything about you there for a particular amount of time, or is this like something that's?
Well, I've been there. I've probably been there since what? Shoot, I've been over 10 years now. Cause they least started it maybe 15 years ago.
You know what? I gotta be real. This is the first time that I'm ever hearing about a hip hop museum in Virginia, and it's in Williamsburg.
Yeah, it's right up the street, right? Williamsburg at the Williams and Mary College. So it's at Williams and Mary College.
Thank you for dropping that, because that's something we need to know.
Exactly. So you know, these are other folks that brought that out as well. You know what I'm saying? The guy I can't think of his name right now, but he's one of the ones that started the museum, collecting information on this throughout the region.
Wow, I definitely got to tap into that. Yes. Wow. Okay. Anything else you'd like to share before we close this show out today?
Yeah, definitely. I want people to definitely get in contact with me. Like I said, you can call me actually 434-401-6403. Or like I said, Google me and see what I got going on. And call me into. I'm doing group sessions as well. I got something called Cellular Spa, which is I got a technology called the PIMI, and I also got something called the VIMI. And what that does is a mat. Some people got what's called the PMF mats, which is a little different from what I got. I got what's called the PMI mat. And so what we do is try to relax the body, also release the body from the what we call electric smog, from being on computers all day and stuff like that. Like I said, it causes inflammation in our cells. Because I deal with things on what's called cellular communication pathways. Because each cell, each organ's got a certain types of cells that functions, okay, to break down and metabolize certain things. So I have sessions where you can come in and relax, get that stuff off for pain. I definitely do pain alleviations. You got different types of pain. I got different technology for that. I have a gift for pain, but I don't like touching everybody. But I got different technologies that I use as well that's out. A lot of stuff that I'm using is coming from actually Germany.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a lot of that.
Is Germany like the technology? No, that's.
It's more the health place.
Okay.
Yeah. They done took a lot of our science.
Yeah.
Cause even down to what they doing now, what they call quantum physics. That's what I'm doing, energy medicine practice, or bioenergetics. Quantum physics on what we used to call metaphysics. You know what I'm saying? Then with the mental, the physical. So and they using it through technology because we got to understand they don't have the melanin, to really tap into a deeper levels.
Yeah.
I think it's a book called Foxfire. Is that it? I think that's it. I think it's called Foxfire. The guy who went and stayed with the tribe. Start with the D. Dogen tribe.
Okay, I never thought of that.
Foxfire. I think I think that's the name of the book. But he stayed with him over 40 years, and he only got past the first or second degree as a white guy because he had to be born into that stuff. He's saying they don't have they don't have the melanin to tap in, especially the woman. The black woman is very powerful in A lot of us don't understand that, especially as men, how powerful y'all are, because y'all are more connected. Y'all are part of the earth. Y'all are the earth, you see. And so that makes a difference as far as, definitely I tell people, well, you use stone, it's more, I feel it's for women, because y'all are able to use them in a different way than we definitely can. Because, you know, y'all have all them type of elements inside.
Yes.
So, but yeah, definitely, people call me up and get in contact, Google me, Dr. Copeland, DocTahCopeland, and that probably, and you see my website, different things, and call me into your community. I can do small groups, I can do one-on-one. Of course, if I do one-on-one, you know, depends how far I have to travel, you know. But you can come to my office too. I mean, it depends how far you want to travel for whatever conditions you have. And I also do phone consultations as well. So I can do telehealth as well, if y'all need that done as well.
Taking advantage of that technology with that telehealth.
I don't like it.
But it's a world that we have to grow accustomed to, because I'm not one for technology either, but we have to use it. I mean, we don't have to.
You don't have to do anything.
It's convenience technology.
Right.
Yeah. So that part too.
Yeah, so back to the word convenience, right? See how powerful they don't took over us through convenience. If we get stop being so one thing's convenient, trust me, a lot of things will change out here.
I like that. That's yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We gotta go back to that original way, which is literally agriculture age.
And see, we've got used to being in the convenience of not having to do much, just push this, say that. But in order to, pressure makes diamonds. And so in order to, you know, evolve in who you are, there's some work that's got to be done.
Thanks.
Physically as well. And when we are in the process of developing, when we're in the process of building, we're creating a stronger muscle for ourselves. Because in life in general, you know, you just never know what you're up against. You know, waking up every day is something that we can't take for granted. We shouldn't take for granted, even though we do from time to time. But yeah, I ain't gonna get all into that right now. But yeah, I just want to thank you for coming out to the show and talking about what you do, because what you do is essential. And you know, I'm glad that you were able to connect and have people be able to reach out to you, because we need the services that you offer and provide.
And I'm looking to come bring it and definitely come to your community and do, like I said, some speaking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And try to teach as much as I can on particular matters that I'm pretty much in. I stay in my lane, I tell people. I'm not an herbalist and all these different things like that. I stay in my lane.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow.
So yeah, I really appreciate you having me on here.
Yes.
You told me that, I'm like, man, maybe be on there. I had a TV show, I had a couple of radio shows over the years, different things. So I like speaking. Actually, it gives me energy.
Yeah, it's natural for you. And now I know why. Well, we're gonna close this show out today. This is Real Talk 757. Get it, Doc Copeland. He left the information for you to be able to reach him, and I'll also be including some of that information as well. Thank you for watching. Keep watching. We'll be back, and enjoy the rest of your day, wherever you are. We out.
We out, definitely.